Hey guys, welcome to this episode of Two Beards Podcast, where we hello camera.
Hey
Chill.
guys,
Where we talk a little bit about beer and drink said beer, and then we leave.
so you're okay with saying hi to every single guy that watches this?
Yeah,
All right, I just wanted to be clear. As long as you're okay with it.
I don't say hey everyone.
Sure, but still a pretty broad statement. Hey guys, just thought.
Ladies, gentlemen, non-binary,
I'm out.
anywhere on the spectrum. Hello.
Spectrum of what?
I don't know.
The rainbow?
I don't know how this works.
I don't want to know
I'm
how it
a
works.
cisgendered white man. That's white men.
What does that mean?
I don't know.
It's not even a real word.
I don't even know what
It's a fake word.
No one knows what anything means anymore.
Sure.
It's like the cloud.
Yeah, what is the cloud, man?
What is it?
I
No
don't
one
know.
knows. What are we drinking? We do know that. We do know.
We do
what
know
we're
that.
Drinking.
Yes. So Lagunitas cooked up a Stereohopic. What is that, you might be asking? Well, we didn't know either until we got it.
So what is it?
It's a weird fucking name. I don't know. Is it an IPA?
It is an IPA, and I actually do think I know why they call it Stereohopic.
Oh, I think so too. Like
Two hops. What are the hops?
we got Nelson and Mosaic.
Nelson, Sauvin, and Mosaic.
Was there different kinds of Nelsons?
I don't
do you
know.
Okay.
But I do know.
Yes. We're doing great here.
What?
We know some things, we don't know some other things. We're doing pretty good.
It's like the beer industry in general. You know some things, you don't know
Sure.
a lot of things.
Yeah, I think we're doing good.
Nelson
Yes.
from New Zealand. Fun fact. And I do like my New Zealand hops,
Yes.
which is probably why I like this beer.
Fair enough. Yeah, Galaxy, another great New Zealand hop. Good stuff.
Wakatu.
Oh, really? I mean, I probably knew that, but I forgot, I guess.
Yeah.
Nice. Checks out.
I think that's become one of my favorite hop varietals. Not that I've had it a lot, but the beers that I've had it in, very good. So,
I've been craving this.
yeah.
Like this exact style of beer. Like a nice, reminiscent.
California IPA.
Exactly.
Is what we call it.
Yeah, that is exactly what we fucking call it. And God, do I miss those. I was gonna like put it on a relatable level for people like, hey, it's kind of reminiscent of a Stone Delicious IPA, and they're from San Diego, so
I think we're just gonna make it a thing. If you're an IPA drinker, you probably know like an East Coast IPA versus a West Coast IPA. But
yeah.
Nick and I talk about it often that it gets a little more regional than that even.
It very much does.
Yeah. California IPA, noted by its crisp aftertaste, citrus tones throughout the beer, and
Including visually.
light color,
Yeah.
clear and orange.
It's good shit. 7.2%, 65 IBU. That's tasty. What do you think? I mean, we've had it
Forget
before.
the OG. I know you're so interested in that.
It's like, we already knew the percent, but like the OG fucking matters, bro. 1.068. Whatever that means. Whatever that
Fun
means.
fact.
What does it say? Okay, sorry. I saw one of Yakima's heavy hitters, and I know we read it at some point, but they were referring to Mosaic variety.
Yep.
Makes sense.
Mosaic is definitely a heavy hitter
For sure.
up here.
Well, and people I feel like, well, I don't know if they use it or not a lot, but I feel like breweries in California kind of jizz over it too. Probably because they don't have it as often.
I don't know.
I don't know.
I think it's just one of those hops that it's like very, it's a very aromatic hop that gives like a lot of sweetness rather than like just bitter.
Yeah.
So it ends up being in a lot of like easy drinking IPAs. So I think of like here, Space Dust was like the biggest deal in the world for any like casual IPA drinker.
Yeah.
Like, we talk about Zombie Dust. Mosaic may even be in Zombie Dust.
Yeah,
that'd be funny.
That's actually that's
I don't
interesting.
know.
I'm curious to look that up now.
But it's like those kind of beers where it's like you are an IPA drinker that really doesn't know a lot about IPAs, but like when you go out to a restaurant, you have an IPA.
Right. Yeah, and you and even
you're the guy in the friend group that's into craft beer, but all your friends are drinking Bud Light.
Right.
That's kind of.
Do you think Bodhisattva has kind of taken the place of Space Dust out here? Or do you think Space Dust is still pretty prevalent amongst intro?
It probably has, but I think mostly because the craft beer in general, like the craft beer scene in general has gotten so big.
Yeah.
That I never hear anyone talk about Elysian, have Elysian beers on tap.
Yeah.
There's a couple bars that'll have like, a bottle of Space Dust or something, but like,
right.
I think generally no one's like, oh, Elysian, best, local craft brewery.
For sure. Yeah. I think like in Illinois, like that's the only brewery of Seattle area that I had seen. And so it's all that I knew. Yeah. Because you were like, yeah, you need anything Elysian? I'm like, get Space Dust. I know that. I was actually able to get Dayglow out there too. So that was nice.
And we're not shitting on Elysian, by the way. It just kind of like is what it is.
Right.
I guess.
Yeah, for sure.
Like, I like Space Dust, and like you said, Dayglow is very good and stuff like that. It's just kind of is.
Right. Yeah.
For whatever reason. Three Floyds does not list the hops, but their website is also throwing me off a lot, so I don't know.
Yeah, I don't like the trendy website.
Some are good, but some just like in your face.
Right.
And I think a lot of the times that's single hop beer with Citra hops.
Is that specifically says?
On Untappd or Beer Advocate.
Formerly known as Cenotaph?
Yep. Cenotaph, a medium-bodied single hop beer showcasing Citra hops.
Wow.
So there you go.
There you go.
Also, very aromatic, citrus, sweet forward hop. So kind of fits the same style, though.
Right.
The Nelson Sauvin hops, as a quick Google, describes it as like white grape. Which is kind of interesting.
I'm going to go with a maybe. I mean, it's kind of hard with the mixture of malt and mosaic and everything else in here right now, but I will say I wouldn't rule it out. I understand probably where they're coming from. I mean, if I got a sniffer.
Yeah, maybe if you had a bag of it.
Yeah.
But in this beer, probably hard to tell.
It's hard for me to like, well, maybe not. Never mind.
What?
Well, I'm thinking of stuff that you can't smell, but you can taste, like a grape. Like grapes don't really have a smell. So I'm thinking like, you can smell grapes?
Yeah.
The fuck super sniffer have you been packing all these years?
What are you on about? You can definitely smell
grapes. Don't have a smell. It's like watermelon. It doesn't have a smell.
Watermelon also has a smell.
What? No.
Yeah.
It's just water.
Like, yes, there is water in a watermelon. But like, yes, it does smell.
I can't smell grapes. I can't smell grapes. I'm sorry. Get me a bag of grapes. Bet you I can't smell them.
Okay.
Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe I haven't smelt a grape in a while. But
Okay.
I don't know.
Okay.
I just don't think I can.
What do you smell in this beer? How about that?
Okay. All right. Here we go. Good transition. Get a little swish going. Very, very citrusy in the sniffs. But kind of perfumey.
I don't know if this is what you're referencing, but I was thinking piney
Well,
or kind of resiny. So I don't know if that's the same.
yeah, because
world.
maybe because it might be that just like that fresh floral smell that mixed with the citrus that kind of gives it a perfumey scent. But yeah, this is nice. I really like this beer a lot. So, I feel like I didn't get your thoughts the first time we tried it. I know you like it, but I felt like I was like jizzing over it the first night we got it, and you were just like, yeah, it's good.
I think it is nicely balanced in the sense of like sweet to bitter. Combine those, switter.
I love a good switter beer.
It's a switter. But I think that's nice when it comes to California IPAs. I think they can be a little too sweet for me.
Yeah,
Like a lot of times I'll have one and I'll think it's really good, and then I'm like, okay, what else can I drink now?
Yeah,
Similar to a hazy, though they're like, I don't know. It's weird with a hazy. I expect to be drinking a milkshake, like it's thick and sweet, and I'm like, I can't do very many of these. Probably one, and then I'm gonna need like a bag of chips and a normal beer.
You know what you're getting into.
California IPAs, you could be like, this is light and crisp. And even when you start drinking it, you think light and crisp, and you're like, wow, I can throw a couple of these down. And then soon your mouth is coated in sugar.
Yeah.
So that's the danger of that style of beer. And I think this does a good job in balancing that out.
Yeah, no, that's fair. Totally agree with that. I mean, like there's a lot of California beers that I really enjoy, but it's like at the same time, yeah, I don't know like what it is, because like up front you're like, yeah, this is great, and then after like halfway through the beer you're like, this is like starting to get real syrupy for me.
Yeah, and I think it probably helps being.
So I did this on accident, but
Wow.
And it knows ha 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 apparently too. I'm gonna turn that off.
Yeah. I mean, did you type any of that?
I got switter
Okay.
and citrus.
Okay. I was wondering if if it picked up switter, and I was like, that's impressive.
I kind of don't want to delete any of it and just say we can move on to feel.
Sure. I do think like one advantage California beers have, obviously, is that you're likely going to be out in the heat.
Yeah.
Right. So the sugariness isn't necessarily a bad thing because you're just thirsty.
Yeah, for sure. Where if it's like too bitter, it just like dries your mouth out more, and you're like, I can't do a lot of this after a while.
So, and then when it's here, it's 55 and rainy. After our one day of sunshine, then it's like, I want a beer that reflects my emotional state and not be so bright and happy.
Mm-hmm.
So.
Trying to get a texture here, and it's like thin and crisp. I was thinking sticky, but it's not really sticky.
I was going to say silky.
Ooh.
Like a milk. It's a milk beer.
Well,
not really.
Yeah.
It's like a carbonated milk beer.
Yeah, now we're more on track.
Though it is lightly carbed. It looks like it has a good carb. It's got a lot of bubbles, but when you taste it, it's not.
Yeah.
It's not a lot there.
You're not sitting there just like, wow, I really wish I had more carb. Like you do wish it had more carb.
A little bit.
But it's not ruining the beer for you. It's not like, wow, this beer is like flat, you know. But I've had beers where I'm like, this is like fucking flat.
But it certainly could have more carb.
Totally. They could learn a little from Johnny, Utah.
They could learn a lot from Georgetown.
Absolutely, they could. And that, oh man, that would make a damn perfect fucking beer right there.
It'd be good.
We still need to go up there and ask them about that. Like I'm just so curious to see what they would say.
Yeah,
if it's like family secret, can't even talk about it, or if they're all like, we have no fucking idea, we just do what we're supposed to do and it works out.
Yeah, it would be interesting to find out at the very least, like, is it a thing?
Like, is it intentional?
Yeah.
Right.
Like, even if they were just like, yeah, we're known for our carb and that's like what we do. That'd be cool.
It's like, it'd be hard to believe that it's not intentional.
Yeah.
Because of how consistent it is across all their beers.
Yeah, I don't know. Like, it has to be intentional, but at some, like, I just wonder how that became a thing.
Totally. Yeah,
like,
right.
Did they accidentally do it and then they just, like, liked it and they just ran, like, that's part of their identity now? I don't know.
Yeah. Or was it something that they, like, sought after because they were like, man, this beer is good, but I'm not liking the carb. Like, let's look into that.
Yeah, I just want to know the story, really.
Yeah.
All right. Are you ready to rate the beer? I'm not. I kind of like this pacing that we're going on, like the whole doing everything beforehand.
Yeah. That's nice.
Should get it out of the way.
Absolutely, because then we got a whole nother beer to just chill and enjoy it, not worry about like thinking about it.
People who are watching, they're like, I just want to fucking know about the beer. Is it good?
Yeah, and they do it at different times throughout the whole all episodes.
Yeah,
now it's just, here you go. It's always at the front.
Up front.
Fucking welcome. Yeah, I think I'm good.
Sacrifices that we make for y'all.
Tell you. You guys.
Yeah, specifically guys. I'm there. I'm ready.
Okay.
I'm ready.
All right.
I'm ready.
Okay, you guys down.
3, 2, 1.
4.
3.3.
Wow. All right. Okay.
A little more critical.
A little bit. Let's see if you sway me at all. I don't think you will.
Do you want me to go first?
Sure. I mean,
okay. First, you have to say what you're for.
That's what I was gonna say. I'll lead off by saying that I'm saying it's in that amazing, awesome category. It's in that A category.
Wow.
Yeah, it's up there for me.
Big timer.
I was gonna go a little lower, and I'm like, I don't think so.
Okay.
So yeah, let's.
I don't think so. That's it.
That's really all that went into that. I was like, yeah, I don't think so, and I was done thinking. All right, tell me your thoughts. Let me hear what you're thinking, and
okay.
Like I said, maybe you can move me, but I don't think you will.
So my first thought was like upper B in that great category. Flavors don't hit quite perfectly to make it an A. Whereas like where you're kind of at, they could make small, finer tweaks.
Right.
The why it's just solid to me is like, I don't think this is another beer that doesn't excel at anything. It's very good across the board. It like hits like a lot of the marks that I look for in this style of IPA, but it's not like a game changer to me. And as well, my expectation for this style of beer is usually quite a bit higher because I've had very good beers in this category. Like we brought up Bodie, Johnny Utah, stuff like that. They're Born Yesterday, even by Lagunitas, right? Like also in this category. Even from the same brewery, pitting it against their own beer, I'm like, you put this with Born Yesterday, 10 out of 10 times I'm picking Born Yesterday.
Yeah.
So I think in concept, I like the idea behind the Stereohopic where it's pairing two hops together. Similar to like the concept of a single malt, single hop, or a smash, as we call it. The downside is I think you, at least kind of what I'm feeling is that I'm getting a lot of mosaic. I'm not really getting like this balance of hops that's creating anything special. It's good. It's like just not special. Whereas like a single malt, single hop is really like designed to like accentuate those flavors, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
And kind of my other critiques that I've made already, where like I wish it was a little bit more carb, and I don't know. It is balanced, but I think it's probably a little sweet for me.
No, I'm totally with you. That's one of my two critiques. I mean, the first.
I will say though.
Yeah, go ahead.
Before.
Yeah.
Sorry to cut you off.
Please.
I forgot my other thought.
Yeah.
They said that this is the first in this series, so they will be doing more Stereohopics, but what I assume with different pairings of hops. I really like this beer, even though my rating's kind of like mid, but I really like it. So, and I'm really looking forward to the other ones in the series, and it'll be interesting to see like if they get better, if the pairings of hops is a little more unusual, but yeah.
No, absolutely. And I'm glad you brought that up because I forgot that they did say that. Yeah, this is definitely one of probably many, at least a few. And I'm super stoked for them as well. Like, I think this is just a cool idea. Like, we see single hop, single malts pretty frequently these days, I think. And it's not very uncommon. And outside of that, you know, you'll have beers that have like 3 or 4 different varieties in them. I don't think it's too common that they specifically showcase 2 specific varietals, and I think that's a really cool concept. And I'm very interested to see, you know, how the other ones pair up. You know, how they pair up 2 different hops, and then B, how it pairs up, you know, standing up next to this one as well. So my 2 critiques, one being the carb, I agree with you. Said that earlier. You know, I do wish it was a little bit more carbed. I don't think it necessarily detracts too much from how much I'm enjoying the beer. But the fact remains, I do wish it was a little bit more carbed. And then the other one that I agree with you with is yes, and that was what I was going to say, is it is a little on the sweeter end. I think you know what we said up front is that it does a pretty good job at, you know, not being too sweet but not being too bitter. You know, I think it's definitely still in that realm, but that it does lean more on the sweeter end, and I kind of wish it leaned the other direction. I don't know. I wouldn't change much about this beer. I get your point that, you know, this is like kind of our niche, you know, and this is like the style of beer that we prefer, something that we're probably most familiar with. And so we kind of have a high bar for it personally. And, you know, I said when we first started the podcast today, and maybe this is why I'm feeling it so much, is because I've just been fucking craving a good California IPA. For sure. And I guarantee you that plays a lot into my rating right now.
It's been a long winter, stuck indoors.
Fuck yeah.
We go to a brewery that doesn't really do this beer.
No.
Hardly at all.
No. And we're not really doing podcasts as often now, so it's like we're primarily just going to E9, having hazies or lagers.
Or their West Coast IPAs, and it's just not this.
It's not this, and they're very few and far between, so...
And... what I will say is, like, I don't know, there's kind of 2 factor, I guess. Like, on one hand, I wish that this beer went a little more edgy since it's the first one of the Stereohopic. It kind of tastes like they threw a double hop beer together with a couple hop varietals, and it tasted good, so they just went with it. Not like, hey, we're trying this funky thing. we're just going for it and doing something crazy.
Like, let's take a couple really weird hop varietals that we think like will go to, like, they'll pair
like
well.
Lemon drop and something like
Something
you know what I
fucking
mean?
weird.
Something like edgy.
Yeah.
And it really tastes like they went very safe.
Right.
So I don't know. I kind of wish like first volume you go crazy.
Here's what I'm hoping is I really hope they don't get weird with the beer styles.
Yeah, no, 100%.
Although it'd be cool, I want to be able to line them up next to each other and, you know, see the differences.
Yeah, I think you keep the California IPA style and you just go with different hop varietals.
Yeah.
That'd be good.
So one thing you said that I agreed with, but at the same time, I don't, there's more to it. So you were saying how, like, you know, with a brewery like Lagunitas, you know, they're the ones who brew one of our favorite beers, the Born Yesterday. And it's like, you know, you line that up next to Born Yesterday, you're taking Born Yesterday 10 out of 10 times.
Sure.
I don't necessarily disagree with that, but I will say maybe the 0.5, so maybe 9.5 times out of 10, I'll take Born Yesterday. But this one, I think this one is a little bit more bitter than the Born Yesterday. And so where I feel like after like 2 6-packs of Born Yesterday, I'm like, you know, I got a bit of a sweeter, hoppier aroma taste in my mouth. I could go for something a little more bitter. So just be like a nice change of pace, but a similar beer style. And then additionally, Lagunitas, at least like for their bottling line, they don't have a lot of beers that they bottle and can. For how big of a brewery they are, they really don't bottle and can like a lot. I don't know if they like have a shit ton more beers that they'll do in their tap rooms that they don't bottle and can.
I think they do a lot of limited series.
Yeah, that's true too. Which is awesome. I do like that.
So when you, like if you don't catch it, you don't catch it.
Sure.
Like this one, very hard to find.
Yeah, right.
Like you got your 6-pack and we haven't really seen it again, and then I randomly stumbled upon it for the podcast.
Yeah. Like
we were wanting to podcast this beer for a while.
Yeah.
Haven't been able to find it.
Yep.
So I think Lagunitas does a lot of like smaller releases.
Sure.
At least, you know, out where we are.
But I don't think they have a lot of bog standards. I don't think they have a lot of beers for me that pop.
Yeah. I mean,
like 2 or 3 that pop.
What's the purple one?
Oof, 12th of Never.
12th of Never.
That one's good.
That one pops to me, like, because it's a. What is that? Is it a?
I think it's a pale ale.
Is it?
No.
I don't know that it is.
I think
it might be.
I think you could have just clicked beer, no, unless you really wanted to keep that up.
I didn't, but like it just it annoyed me that it didn't do a drop down.
Sure, yeah.
So I was like, sure, I'm not going to deal with it.
Sure.
It's an unlimited release. I like that instead of it's not just like a release.
Love that. Beer specs. Holding musical hops.
I mean, it describes it as pale.
Is it? I was gonna say, they're like
a pale ale. It is a pale ale.
Okay, because they're like Sierra Nevada, right? Where everything is an ale.
Yes.
What?
Yeah, they call it a 12th of Never ale.
But like
no.
What?
To me that I rarely get it, but that one always pops to me because it's just like that is the definition of like light refreshing to me.
Yeah. Brown sugar,
huge. I like. Please bring it back, please, begging you.
Seriously.
So I think they do have like in the Born Yesterday, right? Like,
that's what I'm saying, right? They have like 2 or 3. They have a few that pop.
Yeah,
but like I don't know. I always, and maybe I'm biased, but I feel like I'm not because I also shit on them. But
Super Cluster, you love their Super Cluster.
I like it. It doesn't pop. Like I do like it a lot. I just don't think it pops. All I'm saying. Like it's a nice like bog standard. Like it's like a good like chill beer.
I mean,
but it doesn't have like a high ABV actually.
Yeah. Well, 8. Yeah, it's 8. That like,
but it tastes like it's like a fucking like
Yeah, you can
4.
just down them, unfortunately.
Yeah.
You're 4 in, you're like, oh.
Kind of dope though. Like those are fun beers to have every now and then.
True.
Like, where you have a night where you like drink 4 of them and you're like, I'm fucked.
That's how it was a few nights ago when we were at my parents and I had a couple of the Montuckies.
Oh man,
on top of,
everything else.
So
we were fucked.
I want to do like a Montucky podcast would be fun. That's a good beer. I forgot about how good that beer was and that it's also like 8%.
Yeah, it's a doozy. It was a doozy. It was good though.
Oh no, it's
I like that.
I always forget like that it's actually like really good because I look at the can and I always think it's like a darker ale because and it's from Montana, so it reminds me of Moose Drool.
That's all you think of.
That's all I think of, and
I'm with you though.
And I really don't like Moose Drool very much.
It's fine.
Yeah, it's very okay.
Fine, yeah.
That's also like a regional beer that is like really popular for not how good it is.
Yeah, it's true. Yeah,
Sorry.
People just it's fine. It's regional pride. I don't think there's anything wrong with that. But
maybe I'm just wrong. Like I wonder if there are people out there who think Bodhi just isn't that good.
And they fucking love Moose Drool.
Because to me, like the regional popular beer that didn't really make sense here was Space Dust. It was very like pretty good.
And it's pretty bitter.
Yeah.
So it's interesting.
I like it.
No. I'm saying for everybody else, like I'm surprised that caught on for how bitter it is.
Yeah.
So,
but to me, like Bodhi is like you want to talk like Northwest. Like if someone's like, I'm coming to Seattle, not a big beer drinker. What's like what's the best beer in Washington?
Yep.
I'd be like, well, it's an IPA, so it's a little much if you're not a beer drinker, but like Bodhi is like the best beer that's brewed.
Yeah, absolutely. No, I'm with you there.
So.
Yep. And as much as I love Johnny Utah and as much as I probably like it more.
Oh, I like it more.
Absolutely. I would still tell people get the Bodhi.
Yeah, it's something.
Yeah, it really is. I remember trying to think of the place that it was at. I remember having my first Bodhi. You probably don't, do you?
No, I don't.
Yeah.
I remember having my first Leo de May.
Oh, do you know? I wonder
Or actually, I think, I remember us having Leo de May.
Oh, that was your first too?
I don't know.
Oh, our first were together. That was definitely my first.
Definitely yours.
Yeah, that was fucking great.
Dude.
Great night.
Leo de May, also top tier.
Yeah.
See, this is what I think is different with you and I, though I think you've probably gotten closer to me, and I wonder if that has something to do with like being in the Northwest. That you like, I've always been more on like the resiny, hoppy, like piney kind of stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Whereas you've like generally been more like citrus forward, like Southern California IPAs.
Yeah.
But like Johnny Utah, like if you were to put it in the Georgetown lens, like you would like Bodhi and I would like Johnny Utah. Now you're falling more on the side of Johnny Utah.
Yeah. No, absolutely.
I talked about it too, where like you love Top Cutter for a long time.
Yeah,
now
I really fell off.
Really get it.
Yeah, I fell off of that.
Yeah,
pretty quick actually. Like, I don't know if it was like the introduction to more of Georgetown's beers or what, or just like more beers out here in general.
Washington's just fucking you over on your taste, I think.
I guess so. Yeah, it's thrown me through a loop. That's for sure.
You have so many hazies now that you're like, I don't want anything even close to a hazy.
True. I know that's true.
I seriously,
no, but that's true.
Like, I'm joking, but I'm serious.
No, that last part's true though. Like being in California, like being like getting into craft beer down there, I was like, oh yeah, fucking hazies, like everybody else, right? Because I'm like, it's fucking juicy, it's bitter, it's awesome, fucker. Now I'm like, No.
Stop.
You're done. You had your time and you're done.
This was before you moved over here, but I remember like telling you like that I was just I was done with hazies.
Yeah, you were hazied
I
out.
had a beer tasting thing where like we were rating different craft breweries beers, and it was a hazy IPA event.
God.
And I had
Worst nightmare.
14 different hazies. I didn't have 14 beers. I had I had tasters, right? So they were probably like 4 ounce or whatever.
Yeah.
Most people did like half. I did all 14 because fuck it.
Absolutely.
I should have recorded. This was back before we were doing like mobile recording pints.
It's true.
But that would have been a fun thing to record.
Yeah.
Um,
One of these days we can do something like that again.
But after that, I was like, I'm done.
Yeah.
I was telling you about my experience. I'm like, I'm like, I get that we're in the hazy boom, like, because that was really the start of the hazy boom.
It was.
It just really hasn't left. I kept thinking it was going to die, and it just hasn't.
Like everything else, right? Like Brutes has really sizzled out a bit. Like people still do them, but they've sizzled out a lot.
They like things last about like a year if you're being generous.
Yeah.
Like on like styles.
Well, and Brutes had their seasons, right? People are just doing hazies year round now. They don't give a fuck anymore.
No.
They had their season, and now they're just doing them,
season, like
they're just doing them year round.
like 6 months after you get your fresh hops, you do your hazies.
It was like Halloween,
And then
2 years ago. Like
it just never stopped.
Yeah, it never fucking stopped.
Yeah.
It just was like, we're in November, people are still having Halloween parties. It's like, no, stop this now.
But yeah, after that day, I was like done, and I remember you being like, "What? Hazies are great," and now here we are, and it's just like,
Fuck hazies.
everyone stop, please.
Yeah, please stop. Just, we're done. Yeah, it's a bit much. But I mean, maybe it's because I feel like I've visited California what seems like once a year at least ever since leaving school. I may have skipped a year tops, but it's like pretty much going every year, and it's like just keeping that taste of good old West Coast California beer in my mouth, and it's still my fucking dream. Shit is just top tier for me.
I don't know, man.
I don't know.
I just think like Johnny Utah and Leota May for me, like that is.
I get it.
That's the beer.
I get it.
That is the beer.
But then, like, dude, when we had that fucking Enjoy by 1031,
that was pretty good.
Fuck, was that just the best? God.
Yeah, but like
I lust after that shit. Oh man.
Stone's on another level when it comes to their.
I mean, sure, it's what they do, right?
Yeah, they're enjoyed by series.
California IPAs.
Well, and it's just their enjoy by series though is just like
how do you beat that? Like it's as
just
fresh as it gets.
It's as fresh as it gets for like a non-fresh hop beer, and then they like to me. Like it's the opposite of this beer where like this beer tastes very like happenstance, like, oh, these two hops paired really well and this just worked, so let's go for it. Whereas like most of the time, I don't feel this way about every Enjoy Buy we've had, but most of the Enjoy Buys, and especially on the 1031 of this year, it was like this was crafted for
they're methodical about
like
it.
This season of time. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Like they went through a few different, like a lot of different test batches, and they're like, this is the one, right?
Yep.
Like that's what it tastes like to me.
Yeah.
Very like a bespoke creation.
Yeah.
Of a beer.
Yeah, no, absolutely. And I mean there's definitely some of them that I don't enjoy, but I can still like, you know, recognize the fact that like, I mean, you're killing the mood. Or sorry, let me rephrase that so it doesn't sound like a bad thing.
Yeah. I knew what you meant, but I was like,
you're killing it. You are nailing the mood and the time of year.
Yep.
Like again, I'm not the biggest fan of like the 214 one. I don't really like that one.
Sure, but
they nailed it. Like they hit the nail on the head. But Yeah, you're right. They really are next level because they just like they had the resources to put like everything they got into it multiple times every single year. It's insane. You know, they're just breweries can't do that, right? Unless you're of that stature.
Sure.
It kind of sucks. I imagine you know who I feel like has fallen off, and it's probably because they fucking sold out. Is Ballast Point. You know.
I haven't seen a Ballast Point.
I haven't seen a Ballast Point.
I'd see their Sculpins, but you know.
Sometimes.
Yeah, I look right past it.
Yeah.
Right?
Well, because the other thing, right, is like Sculpin's like fucking $14, $15. I'm like, get the fuck out of here. It's like a average Joe IPA here.
Yeah.
Come on. That pissed me. Oh my God. Yeah. I think, in Illinois, it's only more expensive. Like I think it was like 15 or $16. Yeah, but it's still probably like $12.
Yeah.
So and for what it is, it's probably like what I would bet you it's not over 7. I'm thinking it's like 6 something %. I'm thinking
probably.
But either way, it's
like 6.5.
Sure, but it's like it's really like no more special than what we're drinking right now.
No, I would drink this over that any day.
Yeah. But I feel but them too, like I felt like they experimented quite a bit and they would do some fun shit. Even if I didn't like it, I'm like, hey, good for you. Like you're messing around, you're trying new stuff. That's cool.
Well, that's the other thing about this beer and Lagunitas too, is like Lagunitas is a pretty big brewery.
Yeah.
Like I got a lot going for them. Not as big as Stone, but like
I don't know. They both have,
but Stone has like cross country. Like doesn't have Stone have a Midwest location?
They have a North Carolina.
So, yeah, something. I don't know.
North Carolina. I think like what's that town in North Carolina that all the breweries are in?
I don't know. I'm not
Green. No.
Greenville.
It's going. I need the second. It's Asheville.
Okay.
Yeah, it's that huge brewery town where like a lot of these like Sierra Nevada has one out there as well. I think Stone has a Germany location actually. I'm almost positive they have a Germany location.
So if they're even global, then
Lagunitas has California and Chicago. I feel like they have one more in the States though.
Okay,
might be wrong, but I know they have those two at least.
Yeah. I mean, but like I said, pretty big.
Yeah, they're pretty fucking big.
Right? So that's why I'm like I'm not comparing like that's why I say like I got to have high expectations for them. Like you got the resources.
Right.
You probably.
You have the resources. Like you already brew good beers. So it's like the bar is set a little higher for you than the rest of the people.
It's similar to what, like if you're from Tacoma, like we have like the biggest local brewery in Tacoma is 7 Seas.
Yeah.
And why we give so much shit to them, even when like they make good beer. They do. But we give so much shit to them because it's like you're like the biggest Tacoma like name brewery,
and you're not pushing the boundaries,
and you don't do anything with it.
Yeah, you don't fucking do anything. Yeah,
so
like they used to.
Yeah,
and they started to,
and
you just
like nah.
You just can't blame COVID at this point, right? You just can't.
Well, and we talked about like the marketing shit that they pulled this year.
It was bullshit. It was absolute fucking bullshit. Yeah.
So it's like all that considered, right? Like you have to like rate them on a different scale compared to like Tacoma Brewing, who's like a little hole in the wall down an alley.
Yeah.
Right.
Even where you sit is like a walkway for the brewers to get to their equipment.
Yeah.
Like it's like not like a.
So we're not like, man, these guys never change up their beer. Right? Like it's like,
wow,
no, they're a small brewery.
It's like thanks for staying open.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah,
it's just different, man.
I mean, they're 2 locations, right? Come on.
Yeah, and they moved.
What?
7 Seas. They moved their.
Their whole brewing operations. Yeah.
They moved their Gig Harbor Brewing to like a place on the water.
Oh, I didn't know that. Okay.
Yeah. Like opened up today or yesterday or something.
Okay. I thought you were referring to the fact that they used to primarily brew in Gig Harbor, but now primarily they do brew in Tacoma.
No, yeah, they moved their Gig Harbor location.
Gotcha.
Because that's what every beer drinker wanted to hear was, now we're on the water.
I mean,
we tricked you with our rebranding, but
kinda.
have a location on the water.
That second part's kind of cool, but that first part's pretty bogus.
It's cool if it's like within like all the other things, right? It's like, hey, thanks for supporting us for all these years and all the things we're doing, including a location on the water.
Yeah, like we're doing everything else right. Now we're doing this.
Yeah.
But instead it's like seems like you're floundering and
hey, us tricking you on our rebrand, that's what funded our water move.
Yeah.
Oh.
Dude, did we just get political? Oops.
I don't know.
I don't know either, man. I don't know either. Yeah.
Yeah?
Yeah, I don't know. Just want the sun to come out.
I want to have fun.
Just want to have fun. Just like girls.
We're in that season of Washington where you have like 2 to 3 sunny days a week, and they're all during the week. And their weekends will be rainy. Just how it is. I don't know why, but it's a scientific fact. Maybe not a scientific, it's a statistical fact.
Sure. It's a statistical fact.
Yeah.
It is.
So, yeah. While we are less depressed from the seasons, we are more depressed on our weekends.
True. Do you plan on watching WandaVision?
Yeah.
Sure. That's an acceptable answer. That's an acceptable answer.
I kind of know everything that happens.
Okay. Via spoilers or just like previous comic knowledge?
No, just like, I guess spoilers, but like just general internet conversations.
Oh, okay.
I don't really know, like,
because I don't even know if this is. I don't know if this is a new story or if this is.
I have no idea.
Written in comic book form.
You've watched it, right?
Yeah, we just recently watched it.
Yeah,
we did. That was a show where I'm like, I don't give a shit about this. I'm not gonna fucking watch this week to week bullshit.
I think most people are that.
Yeah.
So spoiler alert, because I'll talk about the show. So if you
sure
don't want to have the show ruined for you, that's been out for a while now. Like,
yeah.
I mean, like, I have some people say you should give it like 6 months.
No.
I say like 2 weeks max.
Yes.
And probably like for a movie, you have like a week, 2 weeks max.
Yeah, 2 weeks max.
And for a show on Disney and the episodes are pretty short, I really don't have that much. Like,
it's just
especially
you're not making it a priority at this point.
If it was that important, you would have watched it week by week, and you would have been like way ahead of me.
But that's what I do, and I say this every time Mando comes up. It's like Star Wars is that important to me. I wish I didn't have to watch it
all up front.
Yeah, I wish it was all up front, so then I could just like watch it whenever. And like spoilers would be different because it's all released at the same time, so it would be totally different the way that spoilers come out and the way that they're said. But I have to watch it week by week. And so I do that and I make it a priority. Yep. But if you're going to not make it a priority, if you're like, oh, I'm going to wait a month, then it's going to get fucking spoiled for you.
Like there's never a time where like, because you and Jack watch it week by week. There's never been a time where I'm like, don't talk about it.
Yeah, sure. Right. Yeah.
It's like, you'd be waiting for a long fucking time.
Yeah, exactly. Right. It's just not going to fucking happen.
Be like, if you don't want us to talk about it,
fucking watch it. Yeah, absolutely is what would happen. I get that with the Marvel movies. I'll say that with like the Marvel, like I remember Infinity War and Endgame both I watched opening weekends.
You got like a week.
Yeah.
Now you can have like a slight complaint like in that week to 2 weeks.
Yeah.
But like after 2 weeks, like no.
You can't complain.
Yeah. Sorry.
It's such a high like profile movie like that or show even like no. So okay.
So the big critique of the show that I saw,
which
would have been a big deal for me at the time, was that the the main villain.
Okay.
So the critique is the main villain is actually more just than Wanda, and the show excuses Wanda's actions compared to the main villain.
Ooh.
So there's a particular line in a particular episode, and I don't know what the line is or the episode, but there's a character that like talks about that very like frankly.
Yeah.
And then there was controversy on Twitter because a bunch of people are pointing that out. They're like, he was shooting at, or the villain, I assume it was a he, was shooting at like she, I don't know. Who knows? I don't know. I'm talking on my ass.
Go ahead.
The villain, they were shooting at children, but the children weren't like actually real. They were in Wanda's creation. And so that's all happening while Wanda's enslaving the minds of this town. Like, who's the true villain? It's Wanda.
Yeah, it's Wanda. She's a bit of a cunt in this show.
Yeah. So, and then like the controversy was like, oh, but you just don't understand Wanda's emotional state. You don't understand her feelings. And I'm like, no. Your feelings don't validate you to enslave other people. Like, that's bad. Like, there's never a time that like a mass shooting or something happens and people are like, well, the shooter was under quite a bit of distress. And like, that's what the people who are like objecting to the criticisms are saying. They're like, you just don't understand, Vision died and, Thanos and all this stuff. And it's like, no. Like, you don't get to do that. Like, you are a horrible person.
You're really making some inadvertent references to what's happening right now in the world that's pissing me the fuck off.
Yeah, I know.
Did you see my post?
No, I didn't. But like,
Jesus fuck.
But it is relevant. Like,
Yes.
I am making it relevant to you right now.
But and even still, no, just relevant to like a fucking human perspective. You're totally right. It's like your feelings don't fucking matter. You can't just do whatever the fuck you want. Your feelings do not fucking matter. Because guess what? They're fucking feelings. They're not facts. They're not truth.
And they're irrelevant to the freedom of like
other people.
The people that you're around. Like,
you
can't just do whatever you want.
Exactly.
And and that's part of the criticism is that the show tends to excuse or maybe not excuse directly, but like lightens the ethical impact of what she does.
So
that's the criticism I heard.
Here's how you could choose to look at it. Wanda is a protagonist. I will say that.
Alleged protagonist.
Yeah, no. Again, after watching the show and not really giving a shit about her, and unbiasedly saying she's a bit of a cunt. Like,
I like Scarlet Witch.
No, she's cool. She's cool, but like I was never like super into her.
Oh, even from the MCU, I was like,
that's what I mean.
I was down.
With Scarlet Witch. Yeah. So that's what I'm saying. From the MCU, like I was never like super down. I was like, she was just. I'm like, she's cool, but whatever. After watching this show, I think I like her as a superhero, or I like her as a person who has superpowers better. I think I was like, oh, yeah, she's a little bit cooler than I thought she was, I guess. But you could kind of compare it to like a Dexter scenario, right? Where it's like,
yes,
he is a protagonist. Sure, he is killing bad guys, but
still not a good guy.
Sure. And does not only kill bad guys in that show. Like, he has some slip-ups.
Yep.
And so it's like, it's kind of the same thing. And so I don't think I dislike the show or hate on the show for saying like, oh, let's paint her in a good light. No, I think that's I think it can be. And I think they did a pretty good job at making it kind of like a cool artistic perspective. I don't think sitting there watching that show, I'm like, wow, she's such a terrible person and they're just okay with it just because she has feelings. Like, I think people pushed that envelope and exaggerated that a little bit.
Probably, but like I said, I haven't seen.
Sure,
it, so
of course, yeah.
That's just what I've.
I think you're gonna watch it and you're gonna see both sides, but you're not gonna give a shit about that part.
Yeah,
That's what I think is gonna happen, which is what I felt. I'm like, it doesn't really fucking matter to me. Like,
also one thing to note is I think the MCU does make it clear in the films that Wanda is not like the greatest person ever either.
sure, yeah, absolutely, right. I think they touch on it in the show too. So I don't want to. Yeah, I think people are quite exaggerative.
Maybe it probably goes both ways. Like both, like people are exaggerating that Wanda's like the most evil person in the world, and then also the other people who are like, how dare you critique Wanda and what she did because of her loss?
Yeah,
like, you can do both.
Exactly, and that's exactly what I'm saying. Is I think the show does a good job at playing that middle ground of just like having a cool artistic point of view on both sides.
Yeah, when I watch the show, I'll tell you.
I'll be interested to hear your thoughts.
Like the specific line that a lot of the critics were bringing.
It's weird. Like the first 3 episodes, like at least personally, it might not be as weird to you because you know what's going on.
Well, and because I think I know where you're going, I'll be watching them back to back.
Well, I did that too.
Oh, I guess you did.
Yeah.
But like, can you imagine?
Oh no, I'd be pissed.
Right.
After episode 1, I would be pissed. What episode 1 is like?
Yeah,
this is fucking boring. Like if you're watching it week by week,
because I know the general setup,
and I didn't.
Yeah.
So it's like not knowing the general setup and then being able to watch a few episodes at a time was really cool. I did like that. That was cool.
But week by week, starting in black and white, you'd be like, yikes.
And it's like weird, like very sitcom-y. So it's like fucking weird.
Yeah.
Yeah. Can't imagine having to do that. So rip to you guys, probably.
I mean, I'll get it, but
again, like, you know what's going on.
Yeah.
And on top of that, you have the luxury now to be able to watch it all at once if you so choose. So,
well, maybe next time on the podcast, we'll discuss me watching WandaVision. Probably not. I haven't even watched season 2 of The Mandalorian. So,
oof.
Yeah.
Big oof.
But who knows when we'll record another episode. So,
also true.
See you
next time. Or on Pints.
On Sunday for Pints.
Yeah, exactly.
Peace.